This MMA 30 video is brought to you by Cheaterville.com. Don't go down without a fight.
That was your first official Fox show. And, your thoughts were important on how that show went and where guys were going.
Yeah, I know.
So can we hear? So can we hear him now?
Answers. It meant what it meant. Well, the funny thing about that is, the chatter that you get about fights. First of all, there was so much hype for that fight. Sonnen versus Bisping, the Maia fight, and even after it changed, people were like, it's even more exciting now. And then after, everybody's like, oh, they set themselves up for these boring fights. Shut up. People who come out after and say, oh, we knew this, you're a liar. You're a liar, you're an idiot, and you sound like an idiot when you say that. These fights all looked exciting. You just never know what's going to happen. Anything can happen on any given night. You can have, 3 fights go to decisions, or you can put on a fight that you think is going to go longer and it lasts 60 seconds. It's fighting. What we're dealing with now is figuring out, the hardest part of this whole thing is figuring out production. How many fights can you schedule with the commercial load that you got and all the other things that you have to do? We got this thing, we did a pretty good job in getting this thing dialed in after that first fight, going 60 seconds, and now figuring out. And I think as this thing evolves, it's going to be more about fighting. You got to understand too. Fox has a system that they used to with sports, where it's like you come into the big desk and here we go, and we're going to do this and that. What people are used to with the UFC is Goldie and Rogan are on camera for 2 seconds, going, here's what's going to happen, and we get right into fights, and then you end up getting 40 fights in an hour. You know what I mean? So we'll get it. So what? It's all part of the growing pains of the sport. Let me tell you what. When we started on Spike TV, everybody's acting like every fight we've ever had on Spike TV was the greatest fight you've ever seen in your life. The fight business is we were on that streak, has been broken, but we were on that streak that I kept talking about. 14, 15, 16 fights in a row that were just awesome fights. And you're going to have some fights that you're going to turn off the TV and go, wasn't the greatest fight I've ever seen. Would I have turned off the show the other night and said that sucked? No, didn't suck. The Bisping Chael Sonnen fight was awesome, and Bisping was a 5-1 underdog, which was ridiculous in the first place. But we moved the Montreal date. We never had a solid date. There's still we were talking about moving Atlanta too, and now Atlanta's back on again. We lay out our schedule for the year of the places that we think we're going to go, but sometimes we change our mind and make some moves. We moved Montreal, and we tried to get another date for Montreal, but the arena is booked that date because there's so much hockey up there. So we're working on it now. But yes, we are coming to Montreal. It's just now figuring out the date. You want to put the championships and the big title fights like John Jones. I mean, John Jones' fights have been amazing. I mean, the fight with Machida was awesome. They're on pay-per-view.
Well, a lot of fans think that Fox should be the big thing instead of pay-per-view, but that's not really the case, right? I mean, that's not how the business is built, correct?
A lot of folks are out of their minds. That's nuts. And the way that we're going to build talent is the way we have the last 10 years. The great thing about this Fox deal is we have so much more distribution now. Fuel TV is about to come out with this huge press release on how successful this thing's been for them in like 30 days, however long we've been in this deal. We're still working out the bugs and the kinks, working with a new company, a big, massive company like this, and doing the things that we're doing on Fuel and FX and Big Fox. But I think we're in a really good place a little over a month into this deal. I mean, the crazy thing about the UFC and these, fans were so rabid about these fights that normally, I mean, again, going back to boxing, nobody shows up for the undercard. And when I say the undercard, I mean the co-main event. People walk in for the main event and that's it, and then they leave. We're in a situation where fans are like leaving their cable companies that they've been with and getting satellite and doing all these other things to get Fuel TV just so they can see the prelims. The Red Hot Chili Peppers had both dates in both places. So we were working with the Chili Peppers to try to figure out who was going to go where, and we came up, we're going to the Izod and they're going over to the Crew. That was it.
And the Federal Trade Commission announced this week that they're done investigating you, no harm, no foul there. Do you have any thoughts on that? Is that any relief at all, or did you always feel confident along?
I've never, ever, I mean, you guys know that have dealt with me, ever. You got these morons out there saying that we're a monopoly. Well, now you can shut the hell up. We're obviously not a monopoly.
And any update on your war with the internet? That thing kind of slowed down to a fizzle after.
It's still on with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still on. I leave Sunday. I'm watching.
Going to Indy?
No, I'm going to watch the Patriots win here at my house, and then I'm going to fly to Rio on Sunday night. I start filming in Rio on Monday, and then I fly to Sao Paulo, and the next 2 days of shooting in Sao Paulo. I mean, as far as I know, everything's going well over there, and you don't know how successful it's going to be until you go. So, I mean, when we pull that event off and we do it, we'll see how it goes. But it's very important. It's a very important show for our intro into Asia, not just Japan, but China and all the other markets we want to go over there.
Well, and certainly, I guess, adding the lighter weight classes will help you there as well.
I think adding the lighter weight classes helps everywhere. It was time. The sport is now at a point where, we need even more weight classes. We should have all the weight classes from top to bottom.
Yeah. Would you do a super heavyweight or a cruiserweight?
No, none of the super stuff. No.
Health.
Yeah, Anderson's coming in here to meet with me on Friday, so we're gonna talk and sit down. He'll be at the fight on Saturday.
Is the report that he's healthy though? Do you know?
Yeah.
Just around the corner, we have Jake Ellenberger and Diego Sanchez. What do you think of that match?
It's a fun fight. No, I'm happy Diego's back. He's been out for a while with the knee injury, and now he's back, and I'm excited for it.
170 as well. I mean, staying at 170. Jake, I just left him. He looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
So this is a fight I think
it's a big fight for both guys. There's a lot at stake for this fight. Obviously Diego Sanchez is a big name. He's put on tons of exciting fights for us in the last 6 years. Coming back from this injury now against a guy who's ready to, take it to that next level. So this is an important fight for both guys.
Is that true that you're going to have a third UFC in Brazil this year?
A third this year? I don't think so. We'll go this summer, and then we'll be back next year.
What do you think about the last UFC in Brazil?
I thought it was awesome. I love going to Brazil. Brazil fights are fun. The crowd is insane. It's unbelievable.
This MMA 30 video is brought to you by Cheaterville.com. Don't go down without a fight.